Good morning, guys. Took me a few times to go live this morning. I'm super excited to talk to you guys about alcohol. I work with tons of people in the South Florida area, and to be honest, like all other states in the world or in the US, most people drink alcohol. So, just so you know, we're talking about permanent lifestyle changes. This month, we're talking about logging your food. All I want you to do, guys, this month is get in the habit of logging your food. That's it. Not hitting macros, not worrying about if it's perfect, not even worrying about the outcome. Literally just focus. Look at this hair. Literally just focused on the habit of showing up every day, logging your food before you eat, and developing that habit. And over the next 12 months, we will develop a new habit every month. So this month, all about creating awareness and logging your food. When it comes to food, alcohol is not food, but we all drink it. Most people consume at least a cocktail a week. Most of the people I work with. I would say quite a few, maybe like 10% of my client base, they drink maybe twice a week. And then I have quite a few people that don't drink at all or might have a cocktail once every 3 months. I kind of go toward the once every 2 months or once every month, but some months I'll drink a cocktail maybe every weekend. And then sometimes I'll go 3, 4 months, I won't have a cocktail at all. So, just so you guys know, if you're going for a goal of losing fat, changing your body composition, which is losing fat and gaining muscle or becoming tight and toned, adding muscle, when you are creating a change in your body composition and even performance, alcohol does not serve you, but it is something that a lot of people want to keep in their lives. So, this logging your food, logging alcohol will be a tool to be able to see what is bothering me, what is keeping me from my goal. Is the alcohol creating a problem? Because you can go back and look at the data. Also, how many days after I drink does the scale change, or do I feel bloated, or is there a problem? What alcohol actually bothers me? Does wine make a big difference? Or is it beer that causes me issues? Or does nothing cause me issues? Or everything but whiskey causes issues? I have some people, they can drink whiskey all day long. Soon as they drink a beer, their stomach bloats, they gain 5 pounds, and they feel horrible. So, even the types of alcohol, when you're logging, you can start to learn your own body. And this is all about empowering yourself. How do you log alcohol? Couple different ways. One thing is alcohol is not a food. It is not carbohydrates. It is not fats. It is not protein and it is not calories. It is not utilized as energy in our body. When you drink it, your body basically is going to have to get rid of that alcohol before it starts processing the food. It basically thinks you're in crisis. You are putting something in your body that your body does not recognize as food, but we're going to log it as food because of the effect it has on the metabolism, and it will cause your body not to be able to absorb calories the same way. So we log food or we log alcohol as either carbohydrates or fats. This is one of the reasons we go through all of the information inside our program. We want to educate you and empower you going forward, because maybe you don't drink now, but maybe you want to have a cocktail in a 10 years, 20 years from now, and you'll have that knowledge of knowing how to do that. So log your alcohol as carbs or fats. How do you do that? Carbohydrates, you're going to want to divide your caloric intake by 4. If you're counting it as fats, divide by 9. So, here's the thing. Most of the time, this is the problem with alcohol. Most of the time, on the back of the package, if people just scanned a Trulia, or I think it's called Trulia, or like one of those like Bud Light cocktails, or even they scan a beer. I don't even know if there's a scanning thing on a beer, but there is on, the fruity, like kind of citrusy alcohol things that people drink on boats and stuff. Typically, those have about 100 calories. So you would think, if you're going to count it as carbs on the macronutrient list, on the nutrition facts, if you're going to have 100 calories and you divide by 4, that would be 25 carbs per alcoholic beverage. 9, if you're dividing by 9 and you're going to count it as fats, it's going to be about 11. So when you look at the actual nutrition fact on the back of a drink, it usually says the calories and the carbs are like 3 and there's no fat. A lot of the beers advertise there are only 3 carbs or a few carbs. But the problem is that there's not carbs in there. It's not carbohydrates. It does not react in our body like carbs. And also, 3 times 4 does not equal 100. 3 times 9 carbohydrates does not equal 100 if you were doing fats, if it said 3 fats. So, what you have to do in order to put your alcohol in an app, you cannot put it in just as wine. And when you do that, you'll notice inside most of the apps, it only has the caloric intake of a 4-ounce, 6-ounce glass of wine. It's not going to have it broken down with your protein, carbs, and fats. So if you're only looking at macros, it is not going to pull from that macro number. It is only going to tell you you drank more calories or you intook more calories, and your protein, carbs, and fats that you mostly are focusing on are not going to be affected. So you can drink 6 glasses of wine, 6 cocktails, and it might say you have 600 calories more, but you still have all that protein, carb, and fat that it wasn't affecting. So you're going to eat all your food within protein, carbs, and fats and eat an extra 600 calories of drinking 6 beers because you didn't count it the right way. It only takes 500 calories a day over a week. So in a surplus, extra 500 calories every single day for a week to gain 1 pound. Opposite, it takes a deficit of 500 calories every single day over a week to lose 1 pound. Everybody's trying to lose like 10 pounds in a week. Not really a good idea. And even all those, like, by the way, the Ozempic, Mounjaro, they're all eating super, super low calories. Guys, if you guys are using that, make sure you have a nutrition coach. Make sure you're getting enough protein in and enough nutrients in order to make sure you're not utilizing that to lose fat and muscle. This is just a side note. We want to make sure you're keeping all the muscle and only losing fat. We'll talk about that in another message, but I just really want to put that out there as much as possible because a lot of people are losing a lot of weight, but then they're gaining it all back. So alcohol, when you decide what you're going to drink, I'm going to have wine. Make sure you weigh your wine. If you look at a wine glass and you're like, oh, I had a glass of wine, and you think and put it in as 4 ounces, but it's actually a 9, 10, 12 ounce glass of wine, it's going to make a big difference. 4 ounces might be 100 calories. Your glass of wine might be 300 calories. Always weigh your wine. The alcoholic beverages in cans and stuff like that, we don't really have to worry about because the caloric intake is going to be on the back. What you need to do is use your app to add a quick add, meaning add the alcoholic beverage as just carbs or add it as just fats. You can go into most apps and it says quick addition or macro addition. All of them say different stuff, but it's where you can literally enter in how many protein, carbs, and fats are you eating, and you can label it or it'll just go in as a quick add. So if you're drinking one drink, one alcoholic beverage that's 100 calories, that would be 25 carbs or about 11 grams of fat, whichever way you want to enter it. And truly, it doesn't matter. As a nutrition coach, I typically give people one or the other option just to make life easy for them and for them to get into a habit. Habitual discipline makes life easy. So if they have more carbs, I'll tell them to add it as carbs. If they have more fats, I'll tell them to utilize it as fats. It just makes it easier for them so they have more left over for the day. You can actually even do half and half. So if you have a 100-calorie drink, you can take 50 calories for carbs, 50 calories for fats. If you have a little bit of both left over and you want to have a glass of wine before dinner or with dinner or after dinner, and you can utilize both of those. Just make sure you're not scanning it and putting it only as calories. The biggest thing you want to do is make sure you figure out what the actual caloric intake is, divided by 4 for carbs, divided by 9 for fats, and put it in correctly. Otherwise, you're logging food and you're not getting the actual outcome that you want because you're not logging it correctly. It's one of the biggest things about this month is I want to give you guys awareness on how to log food, how to log all the things that you're eating, and things to look for in logging that might be super stressful. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about logging condiments because condiments and fats are basically a problem. So show up tomorrow. We'll talk about that. But I do want to encourage you guys, if you want to drink while you're losing weight, we allow that. Some people, it does cause a problem, so they'll have to take it out. or we take it out for a period of time when you're in a deficit. But when you're in a surplus and you're trying to reverse out with calories, or you're trying to add more food, you don't necessarily have to. You don't have to worry about it because you're eating more calories. So the biggest thing also that most people forget and do not understand about alcohol, the proof actually matters. So if you're drinking a vodka tonic or a vodka water or something of that nature where it's just straight liquor, you really need to know the proof, because as the proof goes up, the amount of caloric intake goes up. So you might have a 70 proof for 100 calories and 120 proof for 150 calories. Now, 50 calories is not going to make that big of a difference over an entire week or a month. But if you're a regular drinker and you're drinking every day and you're drinking 2 drinks every day, that could potentially be an extra 100 calories every day. That means 700 calories over a week. That means you only need 2 weeks to gain a pound and you're trying to lose weight. I hope this makes sense. Hope you guys understand. So keep showing up, developing your permanent lifestyle change. Log your food before you eat. Keep showing up. Keep listening to the lives. I've done a ton of lives this week already. Tomorrow we'll talk about logging all of your condiments. Have a great day. Happy Sunday.